Check out my little version with a mini band of a 90-90 shoulder external rotation. Real convenient because you don't need to have a band with a handle anchored anywhere, so you could do this anywhere, anytime. Other side, this looks like this. Here, look, get some tension at the bottom. There we go, staple shoulder external rotation exercise. Now, I want to talk about two things. First, just some form, and then second, why I have it anchored down here versus here. All right? Well, first off, some people, I know some strength coaches think shoulder external rotation or rotator cuff exercises are a waste of time. I would beg to differ. Research has been done on comparing different shoulder exercises, and for the supraspinatus, which is one of your important rotator cuff muscles, this exercise here, as well as this exercise here, have been shown to get the highest activation over some other exercises. So if you think that is relevant, and I do think there is some relevance there, that's why I do that. Plus, principle of specificity. Not every exercise gives you tension in this range of motion, but we often use that range of motion. So we want to make sure we strengthen it. All right, now, look how I've got the NT Loop Mini. All right, so around my fingers, thumbs are out. Then what I'm going to do is I just bring my hands like this, right? So still thumbs out. This arm is going to be 90 degrees at the shoulder joint and then 90 degrees at the elbow joint. I want to maintain that position throughout, so I don't want this to drop at any time. Secondly, I don't want to overextend my lower back. Now you may be thinking, well, it's easier to not drop this elbow if you went down to your knees and did this sort of thing. That would be true, but you're not using your delts as much now to hold your arm up. So I don't want to support that elbow. I want you to use your shoulder muscles to also hold your arm up. That brings me to one of the reasons why I like having the tension down here. Because not only does having the tension down here, by the way, my anchor hand, my bottom hand, is in line with this elbow. I don't want to be pulling it across my body. So like this. So from here, not only am I getting tension at the bottom, if I had it out here, look, I wouldn't be getting tension at the bottom. The band would almost slip right off my hand. So I'm not as productive through a greater range of motion if I had the tension out here like a lot of people do when they anchor this band to a squat rack or something. So here, it's down low, so I get a greater tension through a greater range of motion, or so greater productive range of motion. Secondly, at the bottom, now I actually have to stabilize this a little bit, which gets a little bit more rear delts, side delts, and front delts to hold your arm up. And third, I'm going to be as quick as I can with this. It's a general rule of muscles called the length-tension relationship that your muscles are strongest in their mid-range and weakest in their shortened range. You may know that as your fully contracted range. So the shortened range is here. So I'm weaker here than I am here. The band is getting heavier as I stretch it. So if I have it out here and I have a 90-degree angle between the band and my forearm, I have less of a mechanical advantage. So as I'm getting weaker, the band is getting heavier and I'm losing a mechanical advantage. So the tension curve of the band in this exercise goes against my strength curve. In fact, they go opposite, which is why a lot of people are forced to cheat. But if you better match your physiological strength curve, especially with a band, by gaining a mechanical advantage over the band, what I mean is that I have less of an angle now than here. That means I'm gaining a mechanical advantage over the load as I'm getting weaker as the band is getting heavier. So they're kind of offsetting one another. As the band's getting heavier, I'm gaining a mechanical advantage, which essentially makes it easier for me to lift the weight. They kind of balance each other out, gives me a more consistent range of motion that also better matches my physiological strength curve.